Hello everyone, watch this review here where they look at the Young Justice Superboy and I guess his cloning outfit. This is the look that the character first appears in, which, is kind of weird. You'd think that they'd go with the costume he's usually wearing during the show, but this is actually the second time that Mattel's given us a first appearance version of Superboy rather than just giving us the modern costume. I'm not sure why they keep doing that, but And here he is in the normal costume. I mean, really, would that have been so hard to have done? If anything, it probably would have taken the same amount of sculpting, if not a little more. Because, you could have just, painted on the detail and stuff, or you could have sculpted it out like they've sculpted the stuff for the rest of the line. This just strikes me as being a little lazy, a little boring, but I will get a bit more into that. There's a little read-up here, but if you've seen the cartoon, you do know what's going on with all this, so kind of academic. Sportsmaster here was a much better release, by the way, and if you haven't seen that review, just go back, check it out. But hold on a second and I'll get him out of the box. Let me start by saying that ever since they switched to entirely molded plastic, you'll see all these weird things the accessories will kind of slip out of place and stuff, so whenever I see that stuff I'm first thinking, hey, did somebody open this and then return it? But most times I think it is just the fact that the molded plastic isn't as reliable as the rubber bands. Slightly less damaging to the figures though, so that's cool. I really wish that they'd just go ahead and, I don't know, figure out some way to secure the figures in just a sort of standard just standing there posture and stuff, so, the limbs wouldn't bend. This, of course, came out pretty decent. Well, in terms of, nothing bent on it. I've also got to stop saying so often. Because if you really knew, I wouldn't have to say it, right? Yeah. At any rate, the character comes with 2 accessories, which is by far the fewest number of accessories in this line. Once again, you have that really annoying little made in China. Generally it just says China, but this time it says made in China. It's a huge distraction with these accessories. I really hate that. And then, besides the bent girder here, or beam, it comes with a sledgehammer, which I don't really remember from the episode. Now, while this is a horrendously small number of accessories for a typically accessory-heavy line, one could argue that Superboy doesn't really need any accessories at all. Personally, I wouldn't argue that, just because, for what you're paying, you should get more accessories. They should do something with, effects or something. The other thing here is the base. Now, I saw the first episode, I guess it was the sneak peek or whatever, so long ago I don't really remember the scoop and stuff. I remember part of the Cadmus base could sort of come alive, so maybe that's it. But beyond that, it's kind of odd, and, he might have used a sledgehammer in the episode, I can't really remember that either, so. But it's got this kind of cool, little beaker thing with the metallic arm. Unfortunately, it's not interactive, and as far as I can tell, you can't remove this thing from the base either. If previous sets are any indication, I think this is going to probably be part of a larger display, another figure will probably come out and, sort of complete this. In general, this is just a kind of disappointing little standard base. Especially compared to the completely awesome stuff we've seen in the line, the rooftop that comes with Robin, or the really cool set that comes with the Sportsmaster. As for Superboy himself, he's definitely the least dynamic figure in the line so far. Which is, I don't know, I guess something of a dubious distinction. It's just a standard body, and because it's an all-white costume, I guess it just kind of scuffs easier and stuff, so I have little marks on this. And I just took this out of package, it's, just factory issues. which is annoying. Also, again, it's just weird that they opted for his real first appearance thing instead of doing, I don't know, the outfit that we're all accustomed to seeing him in. I mean, granted, as far as superhero costumes go, I mean, jeans and t-shirt, there's really not much to it, but it is what the character wears. I think that's even what he was wearing in the comics recently, or the last time I was reading it, so, that's the least they could do. The head sculpt, though, does seem to be I guess, pretty good likeness to how the character appears in the cartoon. Just move that again. Of course, the hair is going a little bit different in that. Go set. I mean, it really captures the fact that he's got the whole sort of emo vibe or whatever going on, where he's really stoic and, moody all the time. As mentioned, this is the second time that Mattel has just gone ahead and given us a first appearance outfit instead of giving us a current for the character. Let me bring in the DC Universe Classics Wave 13 Superboy for comparisons purposes. Now, while this was his first outfit, I honestly have a lot more nostalgia towards this because, this way back, well, not way back, but it was back in the 90s during the whole Death of Superman, Reign of the Superman, whatever arc. Totally blanking on the name. It's horrible. I mean, the other thing about it is when they went ahead and did this, the character has a really unique build. It's got like a lot more design elements going on, a lot more sculpting, everything, so it's more forgivable. This is just a sort of blank body with paint. The other really interesting thing, I keep forgetting to point this out, but so far it looks like every figure in the Young Justice line has come with open hands, which is a twist from the DC Universe Classics line. The other lines where typically you just have closed-fisted characters for like punching positions. Also, the heights between these two are pretty close, so it's sort of the newer teen scale. Let me bring Superman to do a quick comparison in terms of height. This is the Wave 6 Superman, just to give you an idea of scale there. Push that back a little bit. So, I mean, yeah, definite difference, a little interesting dynamic. And moving Superman out of the way, here's the Sportsmaster from the same line. So, in terms of articulation, I'll just give you a quick run through, but it's basic. I should just point out the fact that with all the figures, it's got these softer plastic fingers, so it makes fitting the weapons a little bit easier. We have a point of rotation at the wrist, single joint elbow, rotation bicep, ball jointed shoulder. Head has a little up-down motion, then full range of rotation, ab crunch, waist, the standard leg thing here. Just a little bit impeded in terms of like how far you can kick up, just because of the groin plate there. Outward motion, rotation at thigh, single joint knee, single joint ankle. Would I recommend this figure? No, not really. First of all, they should have given us the standard costume first. Something like this, another person actually mentioned too, and this is actually what you'd expect to see as like a con exclusive, rather than going to retail. It should have been like a variant for the standard version or something. The other big issue is just the fact that, what the hell is this? What they should have done was given us like the tank that he busts out of in the beginning of the series. If you're giving him the little clone outfit and stuff, that's the least you can do. And plus, a large tank like that would have been so much cooler, and You know, it would have been a lot nicer than getting these kind of crappy accessories. It's really half-assed base. Then again, you know, I don't know what they might do for the other half, because I assume this is probably like one half of display, but you know, as it stands, it just seems like a really lackluster release, and honestly, I probably wouldn't have picked it up if I didn't get it cheap. But, you know, I'll definitely be holding on to him, at least until they come out with a different version in his standard outfit and stuff. Probably keep him regardless. Honestly, nothing ever leaves the collection. Once it's in there for good. Just not sure how I'll really display him, because he's going to look kind of weird in the rest of the lineup, where you have him in his first appearance outfit and everybody else is in their costume that they wear during the rest of the show. So, yeah. But yeah, this has been a look at the Young Justice Superboy. A very unimpressive figure. I mean, really, you'd expect a lot better, just in terms of everything across the board, given the higher price point and, you know, the strides that Mattel's made in recent years. I don't know, maybe I'm being a little too picky with this one. But yeah, until next time, folks. One last thing I should just quickly point out. Now, whereas the figure doesn't really have much in terms of paint going on for him, if you look at the accessories, you've actually got a decent amount of work on these. You've got like this cool orangey rust that they've sort of applied here. It's not always visible, but in some places it's kind of more distinct. It's also sort of weird, because like if this is supposed to be like a lab or something that he's just ripping out of the wall, something like that shouldn't have rust on it. Yeah. Then of course you've got that really cool stone wash, so you know, you do have some amount of quality, and you know, honestly, it's not like he's a terrible figure, it's just that they could have done so much more with him. They could have tossed him in his other costume, and you know, even if they were going to go with his costume, they really should have just given us the giant test tube thingy that he pops out of, because that would have made this a lot cooler for a release. You know, just saying.